Welcome to my channel.
I cheated on my husband of 14 years and lost him forever. This is long, but it's something I needed to get off of my chest. My husband 36M and I 36F have been together for 16 years and married for 14. We have 2 daughters who are 13 and 12. About 3 months ago, I cheated on him with my coworker once and immediately regretted it. To be honest, I still haven't figured out the real reason I cheated. On the surface level, the reason would be that my husband was too caught up with work for a couple of months and I felt neglected and unappreciated at times. I know that isn't the real reason, so I'm trying to figure out what is, through individual counseling. I only cheated on him that one time and immediately told him the next day because I couldn't bottle up my guilt and shame. He was shocked at first but then went on to call me the most horrid names. I deserved it. I deserved a lot more than that. I don't even know how it got to the point of me sleeping with my coworker. It started with innocent flirting, and before I knew it I made the worst mistake of my life by sleeping with him. I wish I'd gotten hit by a car that day before sleeping with him. I cut off all contact with my coworker and gave up my phone to my husband. I wanted to reassure him that I was willing to make this work on his terms, whatever they were, as long as he would give me another chance. Even though in my heart I knew that I wanted another chance to prove myself, I told him that I would understand if he went through with a divorce. Anyways, I told my husband that I would do anything to regain his trust and expressed my sorrow and regret for having hurt him so much. My husband has always been the type of guy to give a person only one chance, even in his friendships. If the trust had been broken, he wouldn't give the other person another chance. He said that he wanted a divorce, but then the whole quarantine thing happened and he stayed in the house for about 2 months and didn't proceed with the divorce. For the first month he treated me very coldly, and the only time we talked was when it had to do with our daughters. I slept on the couch and tried to give him as much space as he needed, and only reminded him from time to time that if he ever wanted to work things out I'd be more than willing to and would be completely devoted to the process of him working things out. He even said some spiteful things during that month and distanced himself from me completely. During the second month there was a change as he began talking to me again. We talked about daily stuff and even watched movies together with the girls as a family. I felt like he wanted to try reconciling and I was so happy. I was thrilled that there might be a chance to save my family, to save us eventually. Through the next couple of days I could sense us becoming friends all over again. He even invited me to sleep on the bed again. It was really working out and I reminded him that he could talk about anything he wanted with me. A couple of weeks passed by and we were getting along even better. We were spending time as a family again and had gotten closer with each other as well. I felt really good about the way things were going, but I wish I'd suggested marriage counseling. I just didn't want to pressure him and have him think that I wanted to sweep this situation under the rug or that I was trying to influence him to not divorce me. One night we were drinking a bit, just talking in our bedroom, and I felt a genuine connection rebuilding. It felt like we were falling for each other all over again, and it made me so happy. This is the part I regret now. I decided to make a move on him and straddled him while we were laughing at a joke. We looked each other in the eyes, and so naturally I began making out with him. It honestly felt like we were 20 all over again. He kissed me back as well, but after a while he just started crying. He told me to stop and said that he couldn't. I felt so awful because I felt like he wanted to, but didn't at the same time. It broke my heart to directly see just how badly my stupid decision had hurt him. I told him that I was sorry and we went to sleep. The reason I say I regret doing this is because I feel like this moment pushed him away forever. 2 days later he informed me that he wanted to go through with a divorce. He said that he just doesn't think he could make it work even after trying for the last 2 months. I wanted to fight with him about it, but I just told him that I understood. We had already decided before that if a divorce was to happen it would be on fair terms. Sure, we'd both have lawyers, but we agreed on a lot of the stuff together. He wanted to take a 2-week trip but would come back to pick up the girls after his trip. We both mutually agreed that we'd split the time with the girls after his trip. They would spend half of the week with him and the other half with me. I even helped him pack up his stuff, and when we finished I just bawled my out and we hugged it out. After his 2 weeks trip he came back and it felt good seeing him again, but I knew it wasn't the same. He just smiled and we made small talk before he took the girls. We're both really good parents and want the best for our kids. Today I got served divorce papers. It hurts so much to know that I lost my best friend cause I was stupid. Sometimes I roll over to his side of the bed in the morning and I hate how I don't feel his body there anymore. I miss his smell, his smile, his voice. I miss him filling up the entire room with his loud adorable laugh. I miss him so much. The thing that hurts me the most in all of this is knowing how badly I hurt the person I love the most. I wish I could go back in time and undo what I did, but I can't. So now here I am writing about it on Reddit while crying when there's nothing that I can do about it. I wish I could let him see for himself what I genuinely feel in my heart about how sorry I am and about how I would be the most devoted wife ever if he just gave me another chance. To let him know just how much I love him and that I'd literally do anything for him. I ducked up the most perfect thing that ever happened to me. I wish I could get him back, but I know that I lost him forever. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, I was cheated on about a year ago and it's easily the shittiest feeling I've ever felt because I love her so much and it was just the ultimate betrayal. It's a huge combination of anger and sadness. It's the worst because the person you are supposed to trust and see on the most screwed you over. You can say you feel terrible all you want, but that act of betrayal says a lot about the person as well. Actions will always speak louder than words. I'm not saying you're a bad person, but the level of anger and betrayal your husband feels will take a long time to go away. He may never be the same towards you ever again, but that is why being unfaithful is the ultimate terrible thing to do to a spouse. I feel bad for your kids as well because they will pay a price for something their mother did. I feel bad for your husband because I know how awful he must be feeling. I'm still getting over my loved one screwing me over. It's permanently scarring and what you did was all about you and no one else. Answer, you're absolutely right. What I did was horrible and nothing could ever justify it. I just wish I hadn't destroyed my family and lost my best friend. It was selfish and that's why I'm going to counseling to see what inside of me is wrong. It might not mean anything at all coming from a person like me, but I'm truly sorry about what you went through. Redditor 2, you can't cheat and seriously expect them to stay. Redditor follow up, sure, you can't expect them to stay, but I think people do deserve a second chance. It's easier said than done when you aren't in that situation. I don't think there is a black and white answer. The fact it happened once and she literally owned up to it. It also says a lot about her character. I truly think she genuinely messed up and will not do it again. I don't think once a cheater is always a cheater. I really hope that he can heal and you guys find a way back to each other. Humans aren't perfect. We make mistakes as long as we learn valuable lesson from it. Redditor 3, the part where you mentioned him crying, I felt that. My ex cheated on me too and I tried to be normal around him and one day he tried making out with me after weeks of not being affectionate towards each other and I just burst into tears. My mind mentally was trying to enjoy it but physically I had no butterflies and no sparks running through my body. I felt numb. It's devastating and you have an emptiness in your stomach. Your husband will forever wonder what it is that he did that made you do that decision. I'm sorry for your family to be broken up by such a selfish and impulsive decision. I hope you find healing and answers. Redditor 4, give you another chance. Why should he believe a word you say? You already said those things in front of your friends and family and hopped on another man's junk because your husband was working to put food on the table and you wanted attention. Redditor 5, I don't think there is something fundamentally wrong with you because you did this. What I will say is you have to work on your communication and decision-making skills. Feeling neglected can and has put many people in a weird headspace where they think about going to what seems like greener pastures, and if they are not good communicators and can't express that feeling to their significant other, they become so desperate for feeling wanted that they end up making a very life-altering mistake. I'm sorry you are in this position and I hope you guys get a chance to reconcile, and if you do, make sure to express your needs to your husband before you get to that point again. I wish you the best. Redditor 6, I'm really sorry for you. There aren't many wives like you who would confess and own to the shit. And I know he has really taken into consideration about your infidelity and maybe he thinks this is the best decision for him, but there is a higher possibility he might end up regretting. Cause wives like you don't come around easily. You fell into temptation and we are all humans and we make some bad choices in life, and at least once or twice we need second chances to prove ourselves. I just hope one day he will miss you and what you did and will forgive you when the pain goes away and try to make it work. Redditor follow up? Are you saying she's a good wife? Better for him to be alone or just have quick time with women like her. Redditor 7. No husband can imagine his wife swapping spit with another man and him trying to kiss those very same lips. Nope. Redditor 8. My wife cheated on me with her female friend a couple of years ago. I was out of country on a work trip at the time. It was the worst feeling ever because I couldn't come home. We are still together, but I am still struggling with forgiveness. She also ruined lesbian time for me. I am not sure it will work out in the end, but every day it gets a tiny bit better. Op answer, as someone who is cheated, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what you're going through, and I don't know if it means anything to you. I will never feel what you're feeling, but I hope that whatever you decide to do, you do what is best for you. Redditor 9. Very sad story. I am a little older than your husband and went through same thing. Us men are supposed to always be so strong. When this hits us out of the blue completely unexpected, this will gut a man to the core, myself included. I really don't think women realize how fragile a man is under these circumstances. I think women handle this much better than men do. Your minds handle this pressure better. 99% where wife is cheating, I hate them to my core. I get very upset. Your story was different, still would have reacted the same as your husband. But you had the quilt that 99% cheating wives don't. You really do love your husband more than anything. I don't hate you, I feel your pain through your words. 99% of the stories I'm saying, leave her. If your husband is reading any post, I would tell him your story is different, not the same old cheating where wife only gets upset when she get caught. As an older friend or older brother, I would tell him, she made a huge mistake, knew it right away and told you. Because of guilt, that is not what most do. Give her that second chance. I can tell by her story she let you and your kids down. Redditor 10. Do you deserve a second chance? Yes you do. And, so does your husband. A second chance to be with the wife he married, you, to have the husband you married. And, your kids deserve their parents together. To all that live perfect lives and make no mistakes, please grow up and acknowledge that you are not perfect and have been forgiven. I hope you reach out to your husband over and over until he gives you that second chance or he puts the end to your marriage. You messed up, we all mess up, and hopefully we all have someone that loves us enough to forgive us. Having said all this, keep in mind to do something once is a mistake, but to keep doing it is a habit. I'm praying you get forgiveness from your husband. Not just for your sake but his as well. To work through this, he will know he put his best foot forward for his love for you and not walked off because of hurtful pride. You will know you have been given an opportunity to have seen total devotion of love from another human being. Make sure he sees it back every time he looks at you. Been there, done all of this, inseparably together for life. Best of luck. Redditor 11. If you cared for your children enough, you wouldn't have cheated. Redditor 12. Ugh. I felt neglected because he was always working. Good God, do cheaters actually think their BS wants to be working long hours all the time? Redditor follow up. This woman didn't give a thought for once that for whom he was working for long hours. Obviously, for her and their children, but instead of talking to him, she just ducked with another man. Me and my GF always talk about our needs, listen to them, and it's what kept us strong and happy. Redditor 13. If it were the other way around, would you forgive him? Redditor 14. You were supposed to be the devoted wife when you first got married, not after you ducked someone else who is not your husband. Man facepalming. Redditor 15. I think you're right that you made a mistake going for it for a couple of reasons. 1. It was too soon. Do you understand that all he can see right now is you intimate with another man? He will have that picture in his mind probably for the rest of his life. 2. He should be the one to initiate, not you. Because your cheating took away his masculinity. Him not initiating and you initiating further emasculated him. This marriage is over. However, if you both are amenable to it, you can try to build a new relationship, basically start over from scratch. This time you really have to work earning his trust. There's that part of him that's always going to see you as someone else's when you were supposed to be his and only his. This is going to be long, slow process, if it works. You would have to realize that at any point, he may give up on any sort of relationship with you outside of the kids. The one thing you have going for you is that you came clean as soon as you could. But you still made the decision to cheat. You could have talked to him about your feelings ahead of that, but you chose to look outside the relationship to satisfy that need for attention. Keep that in mind. You chose all of this. You'll have to live with the consequences in some form or another. However, you did also choose to confess instead of continuing to cheat and lie about it. Right now, he is severely damaged. Think multiple broken bones over his entire body, where it hurts all the time and any movement just makes it worse. And even an involuntary twitch can be excruciating. Think random emotional triggers. This is how he is from an emotional standpoint. This is the result of what you did. And you have to pay for his medical bills without any insurance. There's no such thing as emotional insurance because you caused this. With the proper care, treatment, and lots of time, he could get back to close to normal, but will never be whole again. If you want to go through this process with him, I wish you the best of luck. Sometimes people really don't understand the damage something like this can cause. I just hope you have a better sense of it now. Redditor 16, I wish I could let him see for himself what I genuinely feel in my heart about how sorry I am and about how I would be the most devoted wife ever if he just gave me another chance. To let him know just how much I love him and that I'd literally do anything for him. This boggles my mind the most when cheaters want to work things out. That is the bare minimum, that is expected from both sides. Aren't both supposed to already be the most devoted to each other? Aren't you both supposed to love each other to the ends of the world and literally do anything permissible in the marriage for each other? You and him should have been doing this already. This should already be a given. Things should never get to that point where that statement is something so great that you weren't doing already. Don't get me wrong, I do feel sorry for you, but these are the consequences to your actions. You can't run away from them, just face them and hope he can get over this betrayal. Redditor 17, I would be the most devoted wife ever if he just gave me another chance. Weird how you couldn't be the most devoted wife from the jump. You didn't know what you had until you lost it, which seems to be a common occurrence. Redditor 18, it started with innocent flirting and before I knew I made the worst mistake of my life by sleeping with him. Excuse me? Haha, what in the hell is innocent about flirting when you're a married person? You were flirting with temptation and then act all surprised when you got burned. Redditor 19, I'm sorry for you op and wish you the best. Your husband seems like a strong man. I'm sure he made you feel safe and happy. I'm sure he filled your heart with joy and made your family amazing. He was working to take care of his family and you hurt him. It's a shame and I wish you the best. Men like your husband are very hard to find. You guys grew up together, you guys bent and changed to accommodate the other, which is something more easily done when you were younger. So sorry. Redditor 20, when someone says once a cheater always a cheater, I think people are looking at it all wrong. It doesn't necessarily mean they will cheat again. It means that they have cheated, and will forever be a cheater, whether they ever cheat again or not. Because they have cheated, in the past, they have a higher proclivity to cheat in the future, as they've already shown that they have the capability. Redditor 21, what you choose to feed grows stronger, what you choose to starve grows weaker. Good relationships don't just happen on their own, just like cheating doesn't just happen on its own. It is a series of choices we make that either feed or starve the relationships we have. The attention seeking, the flirting, the kissing, even the journey to do the final deed, all of those are choices that not only fed the affair but they actively poisoned your marriage. The cheating was not a mistake but the result of the choices you made. Understand this, accept it and strive to do better. You sound like an honest person and I truly hope you can learn from this and make better choices in the future. Redditor 22, my ears just perked up. Where do you live, baby? Redditor 23, that's your fault, don't cheat. Redditor 24, I am sorry for your pain. And you ex's pain, of course. Live well both of you. Redditor 25, still all about you and how you feel. How you want him to do what you want. How you want him to get over it. The reason I say I regret doing this is because I feel like this moment pushed him away forever. No. The moment you pushed him away forever was when you decided your vows to him didn't matter anymore and you flirted, texted, arranged to meet, and then slept with your coworker. As you see, it wasn't something that happened. It was something you made happen, with several steps and many decisions along the way. To keep doing. To go back home and maybe even get a thrill about your adventure he didn't know about. Why he broke down when you went at him is very simple. For us men, obligatory, not all, it's a very visual thing. We can compartmentalize like champs and not think about something for a while, until it explodes. With infidelity, it's about what you and your AP did. Why did you need an AP in the first place? Are we not enough? Did we fail as a man? Etc. And then out comes the imagination movies rolling in our heads, replaying over and over what must have happened, and if there is any doubts about it, it's always the worst thing we can think of. From your side it seems like he was content not thinking about it when you were being roommates, but when you went at him and opened up that sexual box, one can only imagine the things he saw at that moment. Redditor 26, my wife cheated on me too, so I understand his feelings, but I made it work out. But my situation's a little different, so here's how I made it work. When my wife cheated, I threatened her with divorce and got revenge when she said she'd do anything. I pretty much made her a slave after that, mostly sexual, and got her pregnant. She was happy about becoming a mother, but then I told her to abort the baby and threatened to divorce her if she didn't. She cried a lot but eventually did it, and I managed to convince her to get a vasectomy, after which took a long time to do and pretty much broke her, but she become much more subservient since then. But downside is she's really depressed and suicidal now, but I think that will fix itself over time. I know it's kinda messed up, but maybe try becoming his slave or something, or let him FK other women in front of you. Something that shows him how much pain you're in. I know it's messed up, but that's how I made sure me and my wife stayed married. All the best. Redditor 27, any new update? Have you spoken to him? Redditor 28, if you could bottle up the guilt, would you have remained silent, keeping your husband, X in the dark, and as such was the confession done for his good or your own? Redditor 29, you complete altered the life of your husband and your children, just so you could get ducked at work. Nasty and selfish. Maybe he was preoccupied with work because there were bills to pay. Why didn't you consider talking to your husband about how you were feeling? Oh yeah, because cheaters have the impulse and maturity of a child brat. Don't paint yourself as the victim of a mistake. This was intentional and you're the perpetrator. But with her own hands, the foolish woman tears her house down. Redditor 30, why did it take losing everything you love to understand all that you had? I'm currently going through pretty much the same thing, only I'm the BS. It's been 7 months since D-Day and I'm imposing a 60-day NC. I actually want to save my marriage.
Thank you for watching. Comment what do you think about this situation. Don't forget to like and subscribe.